Hey Sagittarius, Starseed, Lightworker, Twin Flame, and Soulmates. Welcome to Lorraine Rangi's Tarot. Now, just before I dive in there and pull your cards for today, I'd just like to say I offer 100% money back guarantee for image readings, tarot readings, also the programs, as well as counselling and mentoring. Plus advice to help you with union with self and union with your person. Just check the details in the description box below this video. So let me dive in there and bust my moves, and let's see what messages the cards have for you, for both you and your persons. Thank you. Love journey thus far. Messages for Saggy. Messages for Saggy. Okay, Sagittarius, you were coming in with the Moon card. And you're also coming in with the Devil here in your reading. Let me just check that one for you guys. You're coming in with patterns and habits. That's what I'm getting here, Saggy. Patterns and habits. But these patterns and habits, yes, of course, they can talk about a negative, negative attachments here. But what it can also talk about here in your reading is the fear to be seen here. The fear to see. What I get here with the Moon card in your reading is that you follow a certain path. Okay, that's how it's coming in. So you chose a certain path here, but you're not being, that's what it talks about. But there is still more work to be done, is what it's saying. So book an image reading with me is the best way in which I can talk about what's going on in these cards, because what it talks about here, to be quite honest, is that it's a problem here in your reading. See, you're at a crossroads is what it talks about here, and this could also be your person, Sagittarius. They're at a crossroads at this point in time. And this crossroad is talking about here, so are you going to, it's about, are you going to live in fear, or are you going to override the program? See, what it talks about here also is that things have been quite comfortable in the way in which you have done things, and I'm not saying anything about that here. But now you need to be responsible and you need to be accountable. That's what it talks about, to yourself here, okay? And that responsibility, or being responsible and being accountable here, is to come out of your fear. The fear to be seen, the fear to be noticed, the fear to be different. And of course, this is both you and your person. You can come in with obsession. Here, someone is obsessed with you, which is why, or this is both you and your person, this is why this is a problem. Because what it talks about there in your reading, it's coming in as nothing has been done about it. But what it can also talk about here in your reading, and what I need to be mindful about here, is You don't know what to do to override the program, because this is coming in as a program. This is coming in as, like I said, these are crossroads. You've got tradition and religion on one side here. You've also got, and then you have your fear. You also have a past pain, hurt and fear here that's connected to, here in your reading, neglect, abandonment and rejection here. And that is the program here, guys, that both you and your person need to overcome. This is the obstacle here in your reading. You know, you're coming boom, bang, straight in with the problem. This is the problem. What's the problem here? And you may be well aware of this, the way in which it's coming in. And see, to stay at the crossroads here is what it's talking about, Sagittarius. To stay at the crossroads here, I had it, is the pattern and habit. That's the pattern and habit here, is the choice. Or shall I go this way or shall I go that way? That's the pattern and habit for both you and your person. Or so what shall I do? See, what it also talks about here in your reading, when you're coming in with the devil card, it comes in as, here, it can come in as selfishness. Here, I just want to be honest with you here, guys. It comes in as temptation. Here, comes in as showy. It does come in as arrogant. You know, you're coming in with those negative connotations here. But with the moon card, what it talks about there in your reading, and what I get here is that you're well aware of it here. And of course, this is your person. I get here things haven't been, there hasn't been the action hasn't been, it hasn't been the right action. I do get here you've tried to take an action here, but what your reading is talking about here is consistency. And so when you, for both you and your person, when you took a certain action and it didn't go the way in which you had hoped, once again you're coming in with patterns and habits where you could very well go back to eating chocolate or something along those lines. See, it also comes in as here people are telling you who you are. People are telling you what to do. You don't like what you're doing, to be quite honest here. You know that, you know it doesn't sit well with you, but you keep going back. You keep going back to those people or that situation here. You haven't cut it off yet. There's a fear to cut it off, which is hence why you're coming in with that crossroads here. So to override the program, what it talks about there in your reading is to confront and face the past pain, hurt and fear here. See, that pattern and habits that I'm talking about here is, the pattern and habit can also be to ignore and avoid here that past pain, hurt and fear. And say to yourself, here in your reading, as well as your person, say to yourself, oh, that's not the problem. See, when I talk about that, what it talks about there is ignoring and avoiding the way in which you feel here about a situation that you're dealing with, and thinking to yourself, this is both you and your person, thinking to yourself, no, this is okay. That's what it's saying here. That's what it's talking about here in your reading. it's talking about here in your reading, you need to book an image reading, to be quite honest. All right, let's keep going. You have the Page of Swords. You have the Five of Swords, and you're coming in with the Ten of Wands. See, this is really coming in as, how do I override the program? What is it that I need to do? Well, to be quite honest, when you're coming in with the Devil card, what it talks about there is that you've got to work extremely hard here. Extremely, double extremely. Because the Devil card is the most hardest working card in the tarot deck here. And Capricorn is the most hardest working sign in the zodiac. And so it's about adopting those traits and characteristics here in your reading. And so you're coming in with everything here. Everything. You're coming in with your patterns of thinking here. That negative mindset, but that negative mindset here in your reading is, it's, of course, this could be about others, but first and foremost, I came in with being responsible and accountable here. You have to be responsible and accountable for your negative patterns of thinking, which is why with the image reading, booking an image reading with me, I will be, I'll be able to help you identify certain things here that's going to help you to override the program. Because what I also get here in your reading is that you may have gone a bit too far. This is both you and your person. Now, what it also talks about here, in terms of overriding the program, you're coming in with your mind, I spoke about that. Now you've got to come in with the wisdom to take the correct action. And what it talks about there in terms of taking the correct action, what could be happening at this point in time in terms of overriding your fear here or the program, is that you're absolutely embarrassed and ashamed here to be seen as the difference here. Then you're coming in with your heart space here in your reading. And so your heart space is coming in as love. So what is true and real love here? It can come in as your understanding, your perception of the truth here, of non-love and love. All of that's coming in, especially with the Moon card. See, what the Moon card is saying here in your reading is that you're dealing with this on your own. And then you're coming in with your actions here. And so when you're coming in with overriding the program here, what it talks about there is self-confidence here, guys. Self-worth, self-value, because the devil doesn't like that. So it's like you've got an inner struggle, an inner battle here with yourself. And what it also talks about there in your reading is that this also has to do with the people in your environment, because when I came in with embarrassment and shame here in your reading, it can come in as other people's opinions of you. But if you allow that, if you allow other people's opinions here to stop you here from doing what you want to do, well then it will only become a problem, is what I'm getting here. See what it talks about there. See, this could also be hidden here. And what it also talks about here, Sagittarius, and what you have to be mindful of here is that the devil hates love. The devil hates self-love. The devil hates people that are happy. Someone who finds their own happiness here. I'm not saying be cocky here in terms of confidence here in your reading. It's the confidence here to be the difference. But the devil loves judgment. It loves people that judge. It loves people that are negative and project that negative onto others. That negative mindset here, because it's what it talks about there in your reading is that, well, it loves fear. But what you may not understand here is that people create their own fear because they don't understand. Oh, they don't want to understand here. There's a lot to be said here in your reading. Now, coming in with the Page of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Ten of Wands, this is something that's really quite difficult for you to understand and get your head around, is what it's saying. See, what it kind of talks about there in your reading, there's a lot of chatter here. There's a lot of talk. But what I get with the Page of Swords is that you're doing a lot of talking yourself here. You do want someone to talk to, is what I'm picking up here in your reading. But with the Five of Swords, what it talks about there is going around the houses here. You could be watching a lot of tarot readings or something along those lines. And it's because of that, you know, you're coming in with the Ten of Wands here. So it can kind of come in as, so what am I, what's the correct one? Who am I listening to here? See, with the Page of Swords, what it talks about there in your reading is you don't know enough. You don't know enough yet. You haven't got that capacity yet at this point in time. A lot of what you know you get from others or you get from a book. And that's how I see the Page of Swords. And so when it comes to, well, when it comes to doing a particular job, let me come in that way. When it comes to doing a particular job here, coming in with the Five of Swords, what I get there in your reading is that you don't know how to do it. You don't know the practical side of it. And what I also pick up with the Page of Swords is that you don't know enough about yourself here. Oh, you know enough, let me put it that way. But there is room for growth, is what it talks about. It's telling me here in your reading what you've found out. Here, you want to walk away from it. It's just too overwhelming. That's what I'm getting. Because it's the work, it's that consistency, it's making that conscious effort here to create changes is what I'm getting. It's just too much at this point in time. See, you're just looking at all the work here, but you're looking at it from a page's point of view. And so, yeah, it would be a hell of a lot of work. But what it talks about there in your reading is part of that Ten of Wands is actually about what you have to do here. And it is coming in as some kind of action here, Saggy. Okay, so you have the Ten of Cups. You have the Magician. You have the Nine of Cups. You have the Hangman and the Six of Pentacles. So, you know, potentially here in your reading, you're wanting, you know, you're coming in with your person, but but it's like looking at what has to be done in order for you to get to where you want to be. So you're still coming in as at a crossroads when you're coming in with the Hangman card. Potentially here, you do have the Magician card here in your reading, but what it talks about there in terms of the Magician card, see, the Magician card is self-mastery here, Sagittarius. Now the step before the Magician card kind of comes in as the Fool card here, guys. And so you are coming in with development here. And I spoke about confidence. I spoke about, you know, self-worth when I came in with to override the program. You have to override the program is what it talks about. And this is both you and your person. See, the Magician card, how it's kind of coming in, and in your reading here, it's coming in as self-love, and I spoke about that. But coming in with the Page of Swords, what it talks about there is that you can hear me say self-love, but you're not listening to what I'm kind of saying when it comes to self-love. And that's only because here in your reading, there is still more room to grow. There is still a lot to learn. Mastery cannot be rushed. This is going to take time and effort. Is what I'm getting. Because what you put out is what you're going to get back in. And I do get here in your reading, that's exactly what's happening coming in as the page here. You can take that to another level. You really can. You can come in as the Knight of Swords, then come in as either the King or Queen of Swords here, where you are able to make a better judgment call or use your discernment here. You can get there. You can. If you want to work your ass off. Because you've got to come in with the positive side of the devil. That's how it comes in. There, those positive characteristics here. Traits and characteristics. But coming in with the Moon card, what it talks about there in your reading is you don't know what those characteristics are. I'm just going to, you know, tell you. That's how it's coming in. Alright, I am going to leave it there. Sagittarius, thank you for your reading. And I'll catch you later. Bye.